I'm looking for that.
Anyways, and I think the 17-year-old is going to get her license before school starts, so.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The thing too, but the homeroom tour, I can't find it. It's on.
Oh, yes, okay.
All right, good evening. I will call to order this July 10th, 2024 meeting of the Hampton Township Council, and we will start with the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Blackburn?
Present?
Ms. Fritsch?
Present.
Mr. Midgley?
Present.
Mr. Schuley?
Present.
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mr. Speakman?
Present.
All right, thank you, and let's start with administration.
Yes. Our 2023 audit was completed recently by Marduzzo, our contracted auditing firm, with the cooperation of our finance department led by Mr. Ramosini and Ms. Julie White. Copy of the audited financials for 2023 as well as the management letter was included in your packet. Sarah Reed from Marduzzo is here to present and answer any questions you may have about our financial statements. So, Sarah, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, good evening. My name is Sarah Reed. I was the manager on the audit of the township this year. I am with Marduzzo, your independent external auditors. We issue 4 reports as part of your audit process. The first 2 have to be issued prior to April 1st. That's your municipal annual audit and financial report, or your DCE, and then your legal advertisement. Your financial statements and then your communication to those charged with governance letter were then issued final on June 25th, 2024. I'm mostly going to focus on the communication letter because it goes over our responsibilities over this audit process. So, as part of our audit process, we have to reach out to a member of council at the beginning of the audit about planning matters. So that took place with the council president on March 26th of 2024. The letter does go over our responsibilities as your auditors and how they are consistent with what was listed in your engagement letter from December of 2023. Our responsibility is to express an opinion as to whether your financial statements are fairly presented in all material respects at the end of the year in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States. As part of our audit, we do plan to obtain reasonable but not absolute assurance, and that's because we don't test a 100% of all of your transactions. We test based on a materiality threshold and a sampling basis, so that's why it's reasonable and not absolute. And we also do consider the internal controls of the township during our process so that we can use those in order to aid our testing, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion about your internal controls. If we did come across an issue, though, we would bring it to your attention as part of a management letter. Your financial statements received an unmodified opinion, which is considered to be a clean opinion, and that's what you would want to receive as part of our audit process. Your financial statements do have significant accounting policies. Those are all in Note 1 to the financial statements. All of the accounting policies were consistent with last year. Nothing new was adopted that impacted your report, and no transactions were considered to be recorded in the wrong period. So between years 2022-23 or 23-24, everything was considered to be in the proper period. All financial statements have accounting estimates. Some of those estimates are considered to be more sensitive than others, and those would have to be specifically listed within this letter. So management estimates regarding your pension and other post-employment benefit assumptions are considered to be more sensitive, and they could change in the future. So those are listed here, and they are considered also to be sensitive disclosures. So in your footnotes, that would be footnote 7 and footnote 10 for pension and other post-employment benefits. We didn't have any difficulties with management in planning or performing our audit. We always get excellent cooperation in receiving all of the documents that we need, both on site and then whenever we're remote. And we're receiving everything electronically at that point. As far as corrected and uncorrected misstatements, none of the misstatements that we detected as part of the audit are considered to be material in individually or in the aggregate, so in total. Those would have been corrected by management, and anything that would have been material would have had to have been called out in this letter, so nothing of the sort there this year. We also did not have any disagreements with management as far as accounting, reporting, or auditing matters throughout the audit process. We received a signed management representation letter on June 25th where management took responsibility for the financial statements. And we are not aware of management consulting any other accountants regarding auditing, accounting, or similar matters like opinion shopping or receiving a second opinion. And then we also may have discussed, just in the normal course of business, accounting matters throughout the year with the township, but none of our answers during any of those discussions would have been a condition to our retention as your auditors, as in we needed to look the other way on a certain matter or something like that. None of those types of conversations took place. And then just a note on your financial statements. They're a large document and it has a lot of detail, but the front of the financial statements does have a section called the Management's Discussion and Analysis. And this section really is prepared by the township in a more plain English type of summary where it's explaining the financial results during the year and then also comparing them to the prior year as well, which could be helpful for you. Any questions?
Doesn't seem like it. Jerry, questions?
Bless Rob and Julie.
They are very helpful to us the entire time we're here, so we appreciate that.
It's good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you for coming this evening.
Yeah.
All right, anything else for administration?
I have nothing additional to report.
Anything for public safety?
Nothing.
All right, community services.
Yeah,
JR,
JR,
you
I
taking
was
the
gonna
first
say,
one?
sorry,
I'm
JR.
like,
I
somebody
don't get
speak
introduction
up.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know you now.
They know me now. Hello, good evening. I'm here to start off with seeking authorization to release the budgeted of $250,000 for the municipal renovation that we're planning on doing later this year. The next meeting, we'll have formal proposals from the 6 contractors that we would seek for approval in. Those 6 contractors, 2 of them are under CoStars, one's under a KPN contract, and one is under the trades contract. The last one is out for bid because of the threshold. So I'll start off with just a little summary of this project. So what we're doing is we're focused on the permitting area mainly. That was the start of it. Basically, we started with that to see how far the dollars would go. The main thing was furniture, because the efficiency of the furniture compared to what we have now, being old, to what we're going to is more efficient, more space utilization. So with that plan, we worked with KI Corbett. And as you can see from the plan, we kind of did some modifications with some walls to expand the area to give more of an open space, specifically with the window areas. And then with that said, we left the door there, but we did a bypass as a second option for residents to go up to. Go next slide. From there, you can see the furniture that we have selected. There's 2 options that we're currently working with right now. That's why the prices are a little bit different. But with the new budget that was in the packet, it reflects that. So the second slide will show the different option. Really what changed from last month to this month was the manufacturers that we went to. KI Corbett, they don't just deal with one manufacturer. They go to multiple sources, so that's why we kind of have that option of cutting out the middle people, as I say, with a vendor like that. So plus their CoStars as well. Next slide, please. So with an addition to this, and after some other discussions with space utilization, there's a closet right behind me that is full of files. So we're looking to, and actually it's in the budget, my budget spreadsheet, to have a storage shelving unit. As you can see on the top of the screen would be a empty slot where there'd be sliding shelves. So the sliding shelves would move left to right, so for more storage, whether it be blueprints or files. So that was an additional add to this from this month to last month. Just to relate to a little bit of the budget, what I did with this, we have hard costs, as you saw, had a 10% contingency with it. Total contingency last month, I had 10% on the FF&E. I did move it down to a 5% as it's related to a total contingency of 13.4. So that brought us to basically the 250,000 with that contingency. So we will have formal bids for approval with those contractors at the next meeting. So any questions with that?
How old's the current furniture? Do we know ballpark?
30-plus years, isn't it?
Thank you.
So it's out of warranty.
Just missed it by a
Just missed it.
hair.
Far out warranty, yes. With the new furniture too, by your comment on that, this furniture will have a 20 to 25-year warranty, including all the chairs will have a 15 to a 20-year warranty.
Is this going to get done this year?
Yes, we're looking at commencing the project in October to mid-October with a substantial completion before Thanksgiving. So the longest lead time on this is the furniture. Corbett has said like a 9-week to expect. I know in that packet, some of it stated like a six week or even a 5-week, but they recommend like a 9-week. So right now that would put ordering the furniture in like the first to second week of August, with a tentative delivery date of like October. So I'm anticipating this project to be like a 1 month in and out type of project.
So this is not going to deal with any carpeting, any flooring?
Flooring is in that too. Shaw is one of the, Shaw would be the flooring purchasing, so we
Okay.
would buy that direct.
Good.
Yes, they're a KPN contract, and then the contractor, which would be Diltz, which is under the trades, would be the flooring installer. So with this, I'm buying things direct instead of outsourcing to where you get a markup price, on that factor of going to like a regular flooring company. Just have the GC install the floor and us buy the flooring direct from the manufacturer.
Let me ask you the loaded question. Is there a part 2? Is there a next year?
The part 2 would be hopefully this room and the entryway. That would be part 2. Yeah.
But I will tell you, part 1 got a lot more done than I think I had anticipated we would be able to complete within our budget. So, JR's worked collaboratively with Amanda, Susan, Rob. They've done a really good job to kind of put this project together. JR, obviously, with his connections in the to a ton of contractors who are on state contract and other things. So, the one point I would make, we are going to have to move staff around during this project.
That's what I was gonna ask.
There will be staff in here. There'll be some staff over at the Fights Building. We actually will probably be moving council meetings during 1 month up to the great room at the rec center, most likely.
But we will be keeping the permitting window open
Yes.
during this time?
Yes, so I think the vision is that we would have permitting in here at the very least.
Okay.
So that people who are used to going to that window there would just come right here to this door. And we'll put like a desk or something across the way there, jazz it up, but,
Very presentable.
but just to keep it consistent,
Yeah.
that's why I think we're gonna move my department in here.
Okay.
I'm not sure about everyone else. It's not just permitting that's getting redone, it's all the administrative offices.
Yeah, in the packet, it's the whole, I just showed you these few slides to summarize the project, but it is from basically that wall all the way to the end of the building. All offices, new furniture, flooring, painting, and some electrical work that needs to be done because of the new furniture that's going in, and just making things a little bit more, less tripping hazards that are behind, the current desks, like outlets and data boxes that are just kind of floating around, so making it to code too, so that's the other idea with it. at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, we will have an alarm system in here now, which
Detection,
will
yes.
bring us, yes.
So yeah, that one item on there is fire detection, that is out for bidding.
So on your spreadsheet, you have total soft cost is about $210,000, and then you're asking for $250 roughly.
Yes, the FF&E, your most expensive cost is the furniture at $144. So other items in there is the storage solution at $22, Window treatments, 5,000.
Yeah. My question is, so the differential, the $40,000 differential, are you expecting more pieces to come in that would go to the 250?
You have the soft costs that are up, or the hard costs that are up above at 36.6 with a 10% contingency. The hard cost is the contracting cost.
Okay.
Which would be the paint, install,
I got
removal
you.
of carpet. Yeah. Which then again brings that total down to 240.
Oh, I got you. So total cost is soft cost plus hard cost?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Phase 1, 2024, phase 2, 2025, which one's bigger? Are they about the same?
I'm estimating that in my head right now. I mean, they're a little bit different. I think we might have to have a little bit more design work out front with the info desk. I'll call it the info desk area. But yeah, a little bit more design there, just making that more efficient, and possibly some window work, entry window work that probably needs to be done from what I'm looking at right now. This room here, just, carpet paint, chairs. I don't believe that we would touch any of this woodwork. From my understanding, it's fairly new and it's still in great shape to mess with that. So. Anything else?
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, anything else for community services?
I have nothing else.
All right. I do have one thing before we move on. I just want to thank everyone who contributed to putting together Community Day. It was a wonderful event once again, so please convey our thanks to the entire crew who set that up.
Definitely will. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, environmental services.
Yes, Mr. Degnan couldn't be here this evening. He will be at the regular meeting if you have really in-depth discussion on this. But the last regular meeting we had, we talked about several change orders to be coming to council over the next few months. Access controls and security, the SCADA system, and one from KLH. The access control and security systems were not included in the bid for this project because there was a lot of discussion at the time when this was going through design and bidding as to what that was going to look like. So there was an allowance within the contract. We sort of knew these costs were coming. There's two change orders before you tonight. One's from Mealy & Mealy, $23,428.29. The other one is from Callista for $161,104. They're part of the access control component, specifically work by the contractors on site to prepare for the installation of the door system. There's probably going to be, in terms of the access controls and security, there's probably another 2 contracts and then 2 change orders associated with this. The Mealy change order is adding electric door strikes, adding the electric door strike hardware. They've actually already completed that. The Callista change orders for the raceways and electrical to the doors for the security from the security panels. The doors themselves are going to be supplied by D'Agostino. They have done our access controls and the other elements of the municipal complex. They unfortunately could not get us, they're a CoStar's contractor, they could not get us a quote in time for this meeting. We are going to have it for next month. There was just a couple discrepancies on some of the doors and the itemization. I would imagine that's probably going to be about $100,000 to $110,000, that particular contract. But Mealy and Callista, to their credit, have allowed the township to contract directly with D'Agostino through CoStars. That's going to save us on their markup costs. So that's pretty much these change orders as you see them here, sort of preparing the facility for the doors to be installed. So I don't know if there's any questions offhand. I've actually been doing a deep dive on these, so I might be able to answer some of them.
All right, so it sounds like altogether with the 3 of them, it's going to be about $300,000
Yes.
in change orders. And can you just give us a brief overview of why this was not in the original budget?
Originally, my understanding is there was a disagreement, or I shouldn't say disagreement, there was different discussion as to how the doors would access the facility, what they wanted to use, whether they want to use a fob system or something different. Mm-hmm. And there was a belief that possibly it would be something that we could have more of a discussion on as we went through the bid process. So there was allowances within the bid. I think Mealy has an allowance that we could use on this. We're not of well over $100,000 for this. We're saving the allowance in case there's something that comes up later. That's the reason
Yeah,
why.
that was gonna be my question.
Yeah.
We have an allowance, and now
Mhm.
we're not using the allowance, so the allowance at some point may offset this if we
Yes.
don't use the allowance.
Yeah, and
So your $300,000, maybe $200,000 in the aggregate.
yeah, there is still the security cameras. That one is what we're waiting on with Mealy. I'm sorry, with D'Agostino, as well as the Wi-Fi hotspots. There's a lot of discussion as to where they go in the facility. So the total for like the entire access control project, you're probably looking at $500,000 when you incorporate the security, the Wi-Fi hotspots, and the phone system as well into this. So that gives you, which is consistent with what Mr. Lochner and Rob Horvat and Jim have all sort of talked about in the past.
Yeah,
So,
that was all part of
Yeah,
Chris's presentation
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
be prepared.
Yes.
yeah. These ones were already ready, so, and truthfully, just given the total number, just the total number of change orders associated with the access control project, I mean, the next agenda would have like 4 change orders and then 2 direct contracts with D'Agostino. We tried to break it up a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit so that it would, flow a little easier.
Anyone else have any questions? All right. Anything else for environmental services?
Just a quick update, the startup of the plant, we talked about it for mid-August. It's looking like mid-September at this point.
Okay.
So, but that's it. It'll be in time for the tour on October 19th. It will be up and running.
Don't say that.
Okay?
Don't say
Something
that.
will go horribly wrong.
Thank you.
All right, zoning and planning, please.
Okay, so the first item we have tonight is the Fry Cane Pioneer Place preliminary PRD. This is back on the agenda this month. Their extension that was previously granted in May lasts through the end of this month. So we will need to make a vote on this by July 24th, one way or another. So where we're at right now is they have submitted revised plans, which we received yesterday, which were supposed to be addressing the outstanding PVE comments. Those were sent to Gateway and PVE. Gateway actually got us their response back already, and nothing has really changed, but they were already recommending a preliminary approval subject to some conditions. So PVE had a lot more unresolved comments, so there's review's gonna take a little bit longer. We don't have that yet, but we will have it certainly by the time of your next meeting. So there were 2 major outstanding items that needed to be resolved. That was one. The other was the approval from the owner of the stormwater pipe along South Pioneer for their use of that. So my understanding from the developer's representatives is that the developer is negotiating that right now with Brad Kress, who is the controlling party for that. My conversations with GTN are such that it's not something that we can deny the PRD based on, but we can put a condition on that says before you when they submit the final approval, that agreement will have to be a part of the submission. So that would be that item. So where we're at right now is we're kind of waiting for the results back from PVE on their review of the plans.
Okay.
We have David Lucci, the applicant, here. I'm happy to answer any questions you have for me, or he can kind of go through some of the changes with you as well.
I just have a quick question for you. Not saying that you're
Yeah,
going to, but if the developer were to ask for another extension, can we grant that? Or it
Yes.
sounded like we had to make a decision.
Absent another extension,
Okay.
we have to vote this month. If
Okay.
they were to grant another one, then we could.
All right, just wanted to verify that.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
All right,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Yes, my name's David Lucci again. I was here last month, I believe, or maybe it was 2 months ago. And we did have a meeting with PVE. Adam Mochenbach was there with our Zoom meeting, and he went over what items that he wanted us to address. There was 3 major items that he wanted us to see if we can address on the plans. And I do have what they are. In the light blue area on the drawings there, we did install 18 trench drains in each of the lot 4 through 12 units. So there's 18 trench drains. That's going to be picking up the driveways to lot 4 through lot 12. pick up the driveway drainage in a trench drain and then route it through our infiltration facility that we have on our property. He also wanted us to fix some of the outlet structure on behind Lot 2. That is the second area, pointing thinking that this area right here in blue here, we had to fix that outlet structure. We did that for when we submitted our drawings. And then the last thing was on our stormwater infiltration facility. He wanted us to, we encountered bedrock with our geotechnical engineer. He wanted us to make 2 foot of undercut where our bottom of our pond is, and then bring it into on-site fill. And then from there, we fill up with soil media for our infiltration for our stormwater. So those 3 things is what I think we went over with Adam, and hopefully he'll be able, I'm sure he'll be able to review our changes and give us a favorable review. So I was surprised that he did not send anything to the township, but I'm hoping that he'll get you something before the meeting next week, I guess. But I can answer any questions that you have.
Does anyone have any questions?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, next item?
Yep, next item is the Four Seasons. Let's see if this comes up. Oh, my PDFs are not working. The Four Seasons development is next. So there's not really a lot to show on this one anyway. Where we were at the last month was they needed to get us a revised geotechnical plan, and Gateway needed to review that. They have gotten that to us. Gateway did review it. They have said that everything's in order for consideration, so at this point, they have addressed all of our outstanding items. So in 2 weeks, I anticipate I will be recommending approval of this application, subject to some standard conditions, and they have to get some permits from ACCD and the like, but.
All right, does anyone have any questions?
If I'm remembering correctly, the last, not issue, but the last concern was the slope. Is that was okay.
That was what they were looking at with the
Okay.
geotechnical. Yeah, they wanted to make sure that the soils, because there were a couple areas where they had asked for slope averaging.
Yeah,
So
yes,
we
thank you.
wanted to make sure that the slopes where they would be doing that weren't landslide prone soils, which were verified as a part of that report.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, next item then, please.
Okay, my last item tonight, I would request council's authorization at your next meeting to advertise the request for proposals for a consulting firm for our zoning ordinance update we've been talking about for quite a while now. Hopefully we'll do that next year. So I had put together an RFP, which I know I didn't get in your packets, but everyone should have received yesterday. Or if you didn't get a chance to look at it, it's there if you want to take a look. I would appreciate if you have any changes, or if you would like to see any alterations to that, if you could let me know by the end of this month so that I can, well, really by your next meeting. The advertising deadlines are burdensome. So in order to meet those, I'm gonna need to submit that the day after our next meeting. So once we submit that, it'll be advertised, and hopefully we will get some good proposals back.
From the sounds of it, reading through your proposal, it sounds like the process will be quite similar to what we went through with the implementable comprehensive plan. Is that assessment correct?
I think a little more technical, but it will all be, rooted in a lot of the same, community engagement driven types of things. But this is more of a technical document. It is legally enforceable, whereas the ICP was more of a guidance document. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a little bit of a bigger process as well, because we're doing the zoning ordinance, the saldo, and an official map for the first time. So it'll be similar, but like I said, I think a little more technical.
All right, anyone have any questions? All right, anything else for zoning and planning?
I do not.
All right. Other business?
National Hot Dog Day, July 17th. That is Rob Musini's favorite holiday. He loves cooking. Yeah. So, just FYI.
Are you going to be cooking the hot dogs at the pool?
No, I had my hot dog day But I will go up to the pool and have a couple more.
Yeah. I do not have anything additional unless any member of council or staff.
Anyone have anything they want to add? All right, then we are going to adjourn to an executive session this evening. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight.